I'm just going to be brief here this morning. You, we need to start teaching our children, right, at an early age, right, so they won't get caught up in the web, right. We need to start teaching them, right, because see, this generation coming up under us, uh, the toddlers, all right, that's coming up now, these 2 and 3 year old, all right, they're going to be facing some critical times, all right. Racism, prejudice, and discrimination, all right, is going to ratchet up, all right. So we need to start teaching them now, all right, that when they grow up, start being teenagers, right, and adults, that you're going to go to some places where you're not welcome, even around your own people, all right. And any time that you go somewhere and you don't feel welcome, leave. Shake the dust off of your feet, all right. Even scripture tells you that, all right, that if you're not accepted, shake the dust off of your feet, leave. Don't be stubborn, don't get in an argument, all right, and in many cases don't even question, all right. When you're not wanted or you're not welcome, just leave. I have the right to be here, or I mean, don't you might have the right to be there, all right. In Kamala's situation, yeah, he might have had the right to be there, but he wasn't wanted. Yeah, he wasn't welcome. All right. I go to places as a truck driver. All right. And I'm not. In many cases, I'm not really welcome, even as going to a shipper or receiver. They don't really like me, huh? No, they don't really like me. And if I give them any lip, all right, they're ready to call my company and tell my company that I'm rude or I'm arrogant, and they're not going to load. They're not going to take the load off, or they're not going to accept the load, or they're not going to load the truck. All right. Your driver got an attitude. All right. They're ready to call in on me. All right. Because a lot of times they'll ask me to do some stupid stuff. that I don't think is necessary, you know. And sometimes I don't give them no back talk. Okay, I know I really don't have to slide my tandems. I know I really don't have to unhook for my trailer. All right, for you to load or unload me. I know that I don't have to give you my truck keys. I know I don't have to get out of my truck while you loading or unloading me. I mean, shit don't make sense. But a lot of times, most of the times, okay, that's their procedure, that's their protocol. All right, it don't make sense. All right. And if I say something about it being that I'm a black man, all right, they're gonna bring the heat down on me. Right. And I'll give you something else. Sometimes you're not wanted around your own people. Hmm? It don't have to be YT all the time. Sometimes you're not even wanted around your own people. Hmm? You're not welcome. So, you know what the best thing to do? Hmm? To keep from getting a charge. Hmm? The best thing to do is just leave. Hmm? Go somewhere else. It's not always good to buck. Yeah. Sometimes in this life, and you need to teach your children this, sometimes you have to give up the right for the wrong. Sometimes you have to go along to get along. Huh? But you live to go along, to get along another day. All right? You didn't become unalive, and you didn't unalive anyone else. Did nobody go to the hospital or the undertaker or jail? All right. It's not always good to rebel. Yeah. Sometimes you just take it easy. You know. See, because here's one thing, and it ain't gonna change. YT people have always felt as though they should be in authority and have authority. All right. They are an authoritative, they have an authoritative personality, especially against black and brown people. You're supposed to do what we say. All right. Right. You're supposed to humble yourself to us. All right. Especially as a black man or black woman, you ain't supposed to buck us. You ain't supposed to talk back to us. You're supposed to honor us. That's why they put in the Bible, you should honor those that have authority over you. All right. And YT people have always felt that they have authority over people that look like me. That's why it's always easy for them to reject you or to say no. Okay, that's the way they mind work. All right, you know. So you have to try to work your way through that. See, and a lot of times when you buck, things get worse. You know, so like for instance, if police stop you out here, highway troop, the sheriff, right? They feel as though they have the utmost authority over you, and they'll ask you to get out the car. All right, and when you say, "I know my rights," I don't have to get out of the car. It pisses them off because you're supposed to do what they tell you to do. So when you buck them, they get mad. So now they're looking for an avenue to hurt you or even unalive you. See, because they have all that authority and all that backing behind them. So a lot of times they can do things to you and get away with it. See, so you have to teach your kids, man, that, see, because see, we have a young generation coming up. They're not afraid to die. They're not afraid to kill. They're not afraid to unalive somebody. Right? They arrogant. Right? They brave. But sometimes all that it don't. Sometimes that don't get you. See, old folks used to say, you catch more ants with honey or sugar versus salt. You know, you can get further being calm and collective than being mean and arrogant. Right? See, sometimes we need to bring it down a couple of notches. All right, man. So, well, let me ask you a question. Why? All right, it's like this. Explain to me. Make it make sense. Okay. You know, rather than coming out with, well, I don't give a so and so, man. F you, so and so, man, and yeah. You know, if you notice, if you ever read the story about Jesus, Jesus never basically got upset. He never basically lost his cool. He was always calm and collected. All right, he whipped them with words. Calm and collected. Okay. He didn't curse, said bad words, ready to fight. Nothing. He know what to say. See, a lot of times you have to know what to say, when to say it, and how to say it. And you need to teach your kids, you know, how to deal in certain circumstances, in certain situations. Because I mean, it's coming. It is coming, brother. It is coming. Okay. Racism, prejudice, discrimination is, the heat is rising on that. It's rising. Right. I go through it every day. All right. I hear on these highways, at these truck stops. Yeah, I go through it every day. You know, and if I lose my cool, I'm gonna end up getting a charge on me. I'm gonna end up with a charge. So I have to stay calm and collected. Or I've been ran over somebody with an 80,000-pound truck. I've been cursed out one of them shippers or receivers. I've been cursed one of them out and be ready to fight if I lose my cool. Because see, they'll try to pull you out of your zone. See. All right. See. They will force you to become arrogant. Right. See. Because see, they already studied us. And they have discovered that we are an emotional type of people. A lot of black people is very emotional. All right. And when you're led by your emotions, things can get out of hand because you're not thinking clearly. All right. Or reacting. You're reacting on how you feel at the present time. And sometimes that's not good. Right. So we need to teach our children, you know, sometimes it's not good. It's not healthy to act on your emotions. You gotta think. You know, you gotta think first before you react. Because sometimes your emotion will cause you to go south. You know, you can't really function properly when you're angry and emotional. And you have to work with your kids on this thing, man. And teach them how to react in certain situations. Because it's coming. It is coming. All right. It's coming. You know. And we have an administration now that's indirectly pushing it. Okay. Indirectly pushing it. Where YT is slowly coming to a point where they are above the law. That certain laws don't apply to them. And you have evidence of that with our present administration. See? Yeah. So it's coming to that point where they are above the law. Laws don't apply to them, it only applies to you. All right. Okay. Look at the way they have done certain people. Hmm? Just look at how they've done certain people. Now, I'm not going to call no names. All right. But you can compare what certain people have done and was penalized, and other people did similar things, and they didn't get no penalty at all. Yeah. So it's slowly getting to the point where YT people is above the law. See, how in the hell, and I'm going to close with this, that a man that been convicted of 34 felony account became president of the United States? Went to court to be sentenced and wasn't sentenced. Walked around the courthouse. And they're getting ready to sentence Sean Combs. All right. They've already sentenced R. Kelly. All right. Shannon Sharpe allegedly had to kick out 50 mil. Tyler Perry may have to kick out 280 mil. Okay? Bill Cosby went to jail 10 years. They killed Kobe Bryant, but it made it look like an accident. They killed Malcolm X. They killed Martin Luther King. They assassinated him. All right. Look around now and see what's been happening. Okay. So out of all those people that have been penalized, but we got a man that's in the White House right now been convicted of 34 felonies. 34. And you got people that's only been convicted of one, certain jobs they can't get. And they only been convicted of one felony now. There's certain jobs they can't get. They can't work at the hospital. They can't work at the bank. They can't get a job being in law enforcement. You put that down in the application that you've been convicted of a felony, all right, you can't hardly get no jobs. And that he only been convicted of one. He's been convicted of 34. And he's president. Can't wait. You can't carry. You can't have a gun in your possession. So you lose your rights to bear arms. Even after, if you went to prison, even after that. See? Think about it now. There's people that's got all kind of restriction against them, and they only been convicted of one felony. This man in the White House been convicted of 34. But he's a YT man. All right. So she's above the law. All right. So when you look at his case, all right, that case been recorded. Okay. State of New York versus Donald Trump. So on certain conviction, they're gonna go back to that case and say, look at this case. Let's look at the case with New York State versus Donald Trump. And nothing happened to him. So how you gonna sentence my client? But smart lawyer can tear that up. See? So it opened the door, and depending on how many YT people walk through it, it opened the door where certain YT people is above the law. But I'm not. If I go in the store right now and grab a YT woman, but, and she called the law, they're gonna lock me up. When I go to court, I'm gonna get some time for funneling a YT woman. Or it could even happen if I funnel a black woman and she called the police. This man put his hands on me, sexually harassed me. Because I'm not above the law. Certain people are. So it's some difficult times getting ready to hit, man. All right. Difficult times getting ready to hit. Prepare your kids for that time, because it's coming. House of Common Sense said that. Y'all be blessed. Thank you for listening.